Today we are creating an AMV Cube. So guys, this is the basic movement. I will show you all steps of making cubes and setting things up. It can look a bit intimidating, but don't think too much at first. Keep it simple if you are making it first time. Then gradually build up your editing skills. Project file will be available on my Patreon. Okay, make a new composition. This is gonna be main comp. I'll keep it 10 seconds for tutorial purpose. Hit OK. Now create another composition. Name it a square format. Uncheck the proportions and make it 700 by 700 pixels. Hit OK. Now place your first picture into square composition. Resize it to fit the black areas. Now from here select the square format comp and duplicate it. Double click it to navigate in there. Delete this old image from here and put a new image. Resize it to fit the black areas. Color code them so they are easier to see. Then duplicate it again so you have square format 3 now. Delete old image and put a new one. Keep doing that until you have total 6 square formats and 1 main comp. We now have total 6 square formats and 1 main comp. Head over to your main comp and put all 6 square comps on your timeline. Make them all 3D by clicking this cube button. You can change the camera view to see it from an angle. I will use custom view 1. Arranging them like this is not necessary. I was just searching for the first image I wanted to show. Select the last 4 layers and connect them to the layer number 2. So when you move layer number 2, all the connected layers move as well. Move the anchor point of layer number 2 and move it to the left side. Holding Ctrl button will snap it to the point. Then change the Y rotation to positive 90 degrees. Now just attach below layers in a chain manner, like attach layer 4 to 3, 5 to 4, and 6 to 5. This time use anchor point of layer number 3. Then change the Y rotation to positive 90 degrees. You can change the views to see better. Now this time use anchor point of layer number 4. Then change the Y rotation to positive 90 degrees. Hope you get the idea. Just do something like you do when making origami. If none of the views give you the perfect angle, you can use the camera orbit tool. Using this will allow you to view the angles manually. Click and drag to change angle. For this last picture I will use Z position instead of rotations. And the cube is ready for animation. One quick tip. Whatever you put inside the square compositions will show on the cube. Here I'm putting a text. If it appears flipped, just flip it on the square comp. That will fix it. You can put emoticons and stuff like that. Then disconnect the layers from each other. Create a null object. Call it rotation control. It's very simple. This is a null object, and you just have to put it in the middle of the 3D cube, sort of making it a center of mass. I will rotate the angle using camera orbit tool until I find a good spot from where I can put it in the center of the cube. After it's done, attach all the layers to the rotation control. When you rotate the rotation control, the cube should rotate like this, like a spin top or a dice. Proceeding to the movement part. Beat edit is not necessary when learning this. Once you are good with basic thing, then try beat edit in the same way. Here I'm keyframing the position to make a zoom effect. The farther the keyframes, the slower the zoom, and vice versa. Under the graph editor you can make a curve to smooth the movement. Now I will add rotation keyframes, so it zooms in while spinning. And make a curve like this. To show the other picture in the cube, simply keyframe other rotations, such as X and Z rotation. Adjust the keyframes where it looks smooth. Then under graph editor you can use value graph to have more control over rotation curves. It will give them an overshoot effect. Now just adjust the keyframes. Don't complicate it, keep it very simple for the start. Basically the idea is to combine all these techniques, like zooming, rotations and overshoot, to make interesting movement. All these things on their own look super simple, but when combined they give a very complex effect. So here, I will just repeat the same process of zooming and rotation until I have a decent amount of length covered. This is what the overall cube movement looks like. turn motion blur on with this button and enable it on individual layers as well. It looks much smooth with motion blur. Now place your timeline marker where you think the cube is most stable and zoomed enough. Then disconnect the layers from the rotation control. Right click and pre-compose them. Name this as cube. And match my settings. Make it 3D again. When you attach it to the rotation control, you'll notice a problem. It has gone flat. To fix this, simply enable this little sun switch. It should be normal now. You can duplicate the cube layer to make another one. Keyframe its position and make it zoom out. So it goes backward. Try adding rotation keyframes as well. Trim the duplicate layer, so the duplicate only appears at this point. Adjust the graph curve. In the same way you can add as many duplicates as you want. Change their positions and rotations to make them a bit random. Next step is to add an adjustment layer. Name it as light ray. Put a CC light burst effect to it. Match my settings or just play around with what looks best. Then set the blending mode to soft light. There we have this world famous AMV effect. To make a background, add a solid layer. Put a gradient ramp effect to it. Set it to radial ramp. And change the colors. Make some deep colors for atmospheric look. Then put this layer below everything. Lastly, add a wiggle code to the position. Wiggle will give random movements. And that is it for this video. I will be back with more interesting tutorials. Goodbye.